Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the review of week 3 and the preview for week 4. This week you have finished up the end of Exodus and found out the project that the people were given was to build a tabernacle, a tent, a portable worship space and living space for God. And he left pretty explicit instructions on how he wanted this built and what sort of decorating he wanted. But it gave the people a chance to create something that would be the focus, the center of their community. And literally they camped around the tabernacle with God in the center. And at the end, he enters into the tabernacle, fills it with his presence. And whenever Moses goes there to talk to God, they have a place to hang out and such. But while Moses was up getting the 10 Commandments, the people got bored, we discovered in chapter 32, and built themselves their own idol. Or they had Aaron build them an idol, a golden calf. And God heard their rollicking and frolicking and got angry, and Moses had to kind of talk him down. But when Moses comes down, he gets angry, and he makes them burn the idol and drink their sin. So at the end of Exodus, then, we go into Leviticus, the book that if you can get through this, you can get through anything in the Bible. And Leviticus, think about it as setting forth the means of grace, the means of redemption, the means of sanctification for the people. Annually, we discover that people, for the most part, would go at least once a year and make each of these sacrifices just to cover any judgment that there may be against them. And God is their leader, to be their king. So it was like coming and paying homage to the king. And so all of these sacrifices were put there to help the people get into better relationship with God and with each other. And we discovered in Matthew that Jesus is approaching Jerusalem for the final Passion Week. And when he gets there, he comes in like King David. The people cry, "Hosanna to the Son of David." So these issues of his power and authority are questioned quite a bit. And the plot is set forth about killing him. In Matthew's gospel, Jesus is only in Jerusalem this one time. Judas is recruited to betray him. We hear things about, like in the garden, Jesus saying asking God to take this cup away. This image of the cup and bearing the cup will come up for us later. But there's this symbolicness of having a cup that could be life or death, and that Jesus is accused of blasphemy, of being God's son. In Matthew's Gospel, as you prepare for next week to finish Matthew's Gospel, and as you go through each of the Gospels, note what happens at the crucifixion. What does Jesus say? Who's present? Who's named? What is the charge against Jesus? What is the image of wine that is used around there? And what is the last words that are said by Jesus and also said by the Roman authority, usually the centurion? How does that bring to completion the story that Jesus has? And in Matthew's Gospel, we also have the giving of the Great Commission of Jesus sending the disciples out. So we'll see that. And then you also begin Mark's Gospel, which, keep in mind, Mark is the Gospel for the doers. And Mark has people moving. Immediately is his favorite word. So just as you start to read Mark, just kind of compare how Mark tells the story versus how Matthew told the story. And then coming back to Leviticus, being particularly chapter 16. Do read that carefully, because the Day of Atonement is very central to our gospel stories and to the people of Israel. And as you read more of the rules and the rituals, see how it is that they create for the people of Israel this idea of ritual and holiness. And also, we just got done, also look at how it is that things happen, things about slavery and how people can be ransomed or redeemed from slavery, how that is important, and that idea of Jubilee. So have fun. You will be doing days 22 through 29. Leviticus 15 to Numbers 14. Don't get hung up with the census and numbers, but do catch the little stories in between. And then from Matthew 26, complete the Gospel of Matthew and go up through Mark 6. We'll see you next week.